Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of the Functional Longevity Podcast, where we give you insight on how to get fit, feel younger, live better. I'm your host, Chris Porter, best-selling author and owner of Y.E.S Fitness. And let me first thank you for taking time from your busy day to listen to what I have to say. We have some groundbreaking research today to discuss. But before I go any further, let me also thank our sponsor, Y.E.S Fitness. Most people lose the ability to enjoy life as they age. At Y.E.S Fitness, we help people age 40 plus get fit so they can live longer and enjoy those extra years doing the things they love to do. Some quick housekeeping here. If you want to get a timestamp or a transcript of today's broadcast, head on over to yesfitnessct.com. Across the top, you see a button for podcasts. Press that button, and it'll give you access to any one of our now 336 episodes. You can also get this broadcast wherever podcasts can be found. Longevity secrets. Why your daily choices matter more than genes. Today we're tackling a topic that we've discussed many times before, but new research has reinforced what we've long believed. How we live has a much greater impact on how long we live than our genetic makeup. We've talked about this many times, but we have some great research here today that I want to breaking news for you. You've probably heard some people say, "Oh, you have good genes," when referring to someone who's lived into their 90s or beyond. But if longevity doesn't seem to run in their family, don't worry, because the latest research shows that your lifestyle and environment play a far greater role than your genetics in determining lifespan. A groundbreaking study published in Nature Medicine analyzed nearly 500,000 people. 500,000. That's a lot of people. And found that genetics accounted for less than 2% of the difference in people's risk of death, while environmental and lifestyle factors contributed to 17%. This is a game changer in how we think about aging. And so why is this research so impactful? For years, scientists have debated how much your lifespan is determined by your genes versus our behaviors. Earlier studies estimated that genetics accounted for up to 20% of how long we live. But this new study suggests that the number is far lower. This means that no matter what hand you were dealt genetically, you have a far more control over your health and longevity than previously thought. This research builds on what we've seen in studies of centenarians, people who live to 100 or beyond. The New England Centenarian study found that long-lived individuals often have favorable genes, but the vast majority also have key lifestyle habits. The famous Danish twin study concluded that genetics only accounts for about 25% of the variation in lifespan, while environmental factors explain the rest. The new Nature Medicine study takes us a step further, showing that genetics may play even a smaller role than we once thought. Here's the takeaway. Whether it's 20%, 2%, whatever the number is, your choices, how you eat, move, sleep, and manage stress matter much more than your genetic predisposition. Now, there are certain modifiable factors that influence our longevity. And the study identified key modifiable factors that have this impact on biological aging and mortality risk. So let's break them down for you. Probably can guess them because we've talked about them many times before. But number one, smoking. It's the number one predictor of early death. Makes sense. We've known for decades that smoking is harmful. But this study reinforced that it's one of the most powerful predictors of early death. More than almost any genetic factor, researchers found that smoking packs years. How many packs per day multiplied by years smoked have the greatest impact on mortality risk after age. If you can do just one thing to extend your life, don't smoke. And if you do, quit today. By quitting today, it'll be the number one most important, impactful change you can make to living longer. Number two, always our favorite, physical activity, the key to staying younger. After smoking, physical activity was one of the biggest factors influencing biological aging and risk of death. This aligns with research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, which found that people who exercise regularly have a 40% lower risk of early death than those who don't. There's all kinds of studies that show this, but this is just the one we pulled out for today. Exercise combats the chronic diseases that accelerate aging. Heart disease, number one killer, men and women, diabetes, and stroke. Just 30 minutes a day of moderate to vigorous activity can add years to your life. Number three, sleep. It's the underrated longevity booster. Poor sleep is linked to faster biological aging and an increased risk of premature death. We know in the Northeast, everything's got to go, fast, right? Got to get you sleep. Because studies show that sleeping fewer than 6 hours per night increases mortality risk by 12%. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night with consistent bed and wake times. Number four, diet, a longevity blueprint here. While this study didn't find that diet had a major impact on biological aging, it did find that people who ate influenced their risk of death. So what they ate influenced their risk. The work of Walter Longo, PhD, is a leading longevity researcher, and he supports this. His research on the longevity diet suggests that Mediterranean-style diet-rich foods with plants, fish, low in red meat can extend lifespan. Again, we've discussed this many times. The Mediterranean diet seems to be the best diet to follow for longevity. It's really a great diet also for just your overall health and fat loss. In a 2018 study, The Lancet found that people who ate plant-based diets live significantly longer than those who consume a standard Western diet. Now, I would just like to throw in here, since we do think about not just living longer, but being able to function better, we want to make sure that we're getting enough protein so that we can support our exercise. And hopefully that exercise is strength training a couple of times a week. We don't want to lose our muscle mass. Muscle mass is what keeps us going. We've talked about that in recent podcasts. So make sure that if we are on a plant-based diet, that we're getting enough protein. Social and economic factors. This is more important than we've ever thought. Socioeconomic status, things like income, education, and neighborhood quality was a major determinant of lifespan. While some of these factors are harder to change, social connections also play a crucial role. We have a study, the Harvard study of adult development, the longest running study of happiness and health, found that strong social connections are the number one predictor of a long, healthy life, more than genetics, money, or fame. Social connections, extremely important. And it's a simple one, right? Social connections. Stay in contact with your friends. Make new friends. Make sure you're getting out of that house. You know, this working from home and doing everything on the phones, not having interaction with people really leads to a shorter, not as healthy life. So how does this research compare to other studies we've talked about before? While past research estimated that genetics contributes 20 to 25% of lifespan, this new study challenges that assumption, suggesting that genetics accounts for less than 2%. This aligns more closely with findings from popular studies on the blue zones. Blue zones are regions where people live the longest. Dan Buettner's Blue Zones research has shown that genetics plays a small role in these long-lived populations, while lifestyle factors like diet, physical activity, social engagement, and stress management play the dominant role. We have another major study here from the Journal of Gerontology in 2018 examined data from nearly 400,000 people and found that people who adopted 5 low-risk lifestyle habits, those low-risk lifestyle habits being not smoking, regular exercise, healthy diet, moderate alcohol intake, and maintaining a healthy weight, lived an average of 10 to 14 years longer than those who did not, regardless of the genetics. So here's our key takeaways on how to take control of your longevity. So to maximize your health and lifespan, biggest action steps. Quit smoking if you smoke. Stop now or never start. Move daily. Aim for 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise every day. I would like to also say that we need to incorporate strength training. We need to maintain our muscle mass. We need to lift weights so we can function as we age. Prioritize sleep. Get 7 to 9 hours a night. Eat a plant-forward diet with plenty of whole foods. Build strong social connections and stay engaged with your community. Manage stress through mindfulness, meditation, or hobbies. Stress is just a killer. And stay curious and mentally active. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. Keep the mind working. So my final thoughts here. This new study in Nature Medicine is a wake-up call. It tells us that while we may inherit certain genetic predispositions, we have far more power over our health and longevity than previously thought. The choices we make every day, what we eat, how we move, how we sleep, and who we surround ourselves with, always positive people, right? Shape the future far more than DNA could ever. If you've ever felt like you're at the mercy of your genetics, let this research empower you. You have the ability to influence your health and lifespan starting today. If you need help with any of these factors, get a hold of me. I'd be more than happy to help you with this. Any one of them, whether it's your nutrition, whether it's your sleep, whether it's your exercise. That's what we do down here at Y.E.S Fitness. We don't just do exercise. We try to coach your whole lifestyle. It's important. Each one of those factors are important. So thanks for tuning into the Y.E.S Functional Longevity Podcast. If you found this episode valuable, share it with someone who could benefit from these insights. Until next time, stay active, stay engaged, take control of your health. And I'll see you next week with more information on how to get fit, feel younger, live better. Thanks for watching.